Your setup is likely going to cover one of these examples. First, we just have a single cable attachment that's common in most commercial gyms. If you have a home gym, you might also have a pulley system that attaches to your rig, but ultimately it will have some sort of space for you to attach this and start using it. The alternative in a commercial gym is that you actually have two pulleys, but they're so far away from each other that the movements that I'm going to show you here just become impractical or don't pull on your shoulders in the correct way. The rangefinder beautifully solves for this because all you need is one single attachment, which is probably the most common thing you're going to come across. The ample amount of space here and the self-leveling handles give you access to a ton of cool stuff that you just don't have access to if you have a standard gym attachment with either one cable or they're too wide, or you have just a single cable attachment with a pulley system. First thing to do once it's attached is to set your anchor point. Generally, a little bit lower is a little bit better. But due to your bench setup, so I've got this handle stuck here right in the way, you might have to just adjust this a little higher to clear this. So for me, in this particular situation, this will work out just fine. Next, we want to set up our bench height. You know, every bench is going to be a little bit different, but in general, we're searching for somewhere in this space. When in doubt, I would say slightly higher is a little bit better. Basically, this keeps you from sliding up the bench as you're doing the movements. This would keep you more locked in place. Next, you're going to want to adjust how close your bench actually is to the anchor. If you're too far away, you're going to bottom out on the top of the machine. And if you're too close, you basically won't feel any stretch because the handles are too far here in front of you. You're trying to find that sweet spot that will allow you to get a nice deep stretch in the back. I really can't go any further back than this, but I can still get my full range. Because ultimately I can't make this thing infinitely long, if you had to choose, it would be to get more stretch. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit more forward at the expense of possibly topping out the machine. Because ultimately, what I want is everything geared towards back here. And if I run out of a little space coming forward, that's totally fine. In order to get into position, basically just grab one behind your back, walk up to the bench, take a seat, everything's in place, get your reps, do whatever activity you're going to do. And then in order to avoid just clanking this thing back and getting yourself kicked out of the gym or damaging your equipment, I would stand back up and just do it in reverse. So I get that nice gentle touchdown. Now that you're all set up and ready to get to work, check out the movement videos down below that will give you some feedback and nuances on how to be the most productive in this setup.